Hi, I'm Akia Garnett, CEO for Brandbuilder, which is a full-services communication and marketing firm. I'm also the creator and host of Tuesday Branding with Akia Garnett. Tuesday Branding is a great day for me. Tuesdays are a great day for me. Did you know that Tuesday is the day of the highest productivity among the work week? And that's why I chose that day to help small business owners and entrepreneurs work to master their brands. And I kick off Tuesdays with the Akia Garnett Show at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard. I also do Big Thinking by Akia Garnett with Kick Fanny, and that show is at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. And then I do 2 tweet chats on Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. and 9:15 p.m. Those are called My Brand Chat and I Brand Chat. In between all that time, I spend 30 minutes with 4 small business owners, helping them create some clarity around their vision and mission, and then articulate it and cast it out among the marketplaces that they serve. You can find out all about those programs that I do and provide for small business owners and entrepreneurs at akiagarnett.com. About my company, Brandbuilder. Brandbuilder has celebrated its 5th year anniversary this past spring. I'm excited because we've been able to help small business owners create clarity around their own vision and mission, and then cast it out again to the markets that they serve. So what that looks like is me working one-on-one with small business owners. Those are CEOs or presidents of their companies. Sometimes I'm invited into companies through board members to help them create some clarity around their vision and their mission. We're going to talk about that in this recording today. And then I move from that to help them create a real pictorial image of what that looks like, from a logo to the actual website to the stationery packagings and all the things that are included and needed to work day in and day out communicating with your target audiences. And then I help them review all of the things that they do to determine if the things that they're doing are actually working and creating the impact that they want. You can find out about those services that I provide at masteryourbrand.com, and I invite you to sign up for our newsletter. You can do that. The newsletter is called News and Notices by Brandbuilder. We put out a newsletter every so often, and we spend time helping people understand how they can maximize every ounce of potential throughout their day when it comes to branding and creating an authentic voice around exactly what they're doing. Again, you can sign up for that newsletter at masteryourbrand.com. Now, when it comes to the work that Brandbuilder does and the time that we're going to spend together today, I want to, first of all, transition into a space of calm, because that's really where we need to be when we are thinking about what we're going to say about where we're going with our company, where we're going with our life, where we're going with the vision that we see for ourselves and how we believe that vision is going to make the world better. And I know that may sound like, let's hold hands and sing Kumbaya, but really we are all put here for a specific reason. We are all put here for a purpose. We each have a calling in our lives to do something magnificent that only we can do. And that is why I spend the time that I do helping small business owners tap into exactly what they is, so that they can say it. And so that when they say it, it's actually believable. It's something that they don't stumble over the words saying, and it's something that they can easily translate and communicate to others so that they understand it. Especially when I say others, I mean their employees or their customers or their partners or their board members or whoever is helping them move their needle of success a bit closer to the goal. And so the first thing that I always do with my prospects, with my clients, is to talk to them about vision. And one way to help people understand vision, and one way for you to understand vision, is to think of it as this idea that's in your head. And it's huge. It's bigger than life, and nobody can really see it the way that you see it the best thing that they can see is the way you describe it to them, the way you explain it to them. Now, when you are branding, you are creating an experience around a vision. You're creating a utopian experience around what it is that you see. Every single company does this same thing. And it doesn't matter if that's a huge company like Starbucks or a very small company like the mom and pop that's on the corner wherever the closest city is to you. It's all based on someone's vision, what someone saw, what someone sees, what someone believes. And that's where the concept of branding comes from when it comes to helping a community that you serve understand how you see the world differently, better, even if it's just for a snapshot in time. When you think of a local coffee store or a local bakery, you enter into their space and decide that you're going to sit there and have some coffee or maybe have a bagel or a donut or something. You're in their experience for maybe half hour, an hour. If you're spending time with friends, 2 hours, who knows? And just while you're there in their space, or while you're on their website, or while you're listening to their podcast or doing whatever, you are in their experience. And that is what you are also doing for the people that you serve. So the first thing to remember when it comes to branding is that it's based on that vision, and that vision creates that experience. So the best thing to do and the most appropriate thing to do is first articulate what that vision is. Now, when we articulate what a vision is, the articulation of a vision is not the same thing as the vision. Meaning, a vision statement is not the vision itself. The vision statement is just a group of words that best describe the vision that you see. See the difference between that? So vision in your head is huge, and you really don't have enough words to put into what that actual thing is that you see. And even if you did have enough words, you will soon find out that those words would change, because we're going to talk a little bit about how vision is a moving target. In the meantime, and the vision that you see today is one that you can wrap a group of words around today that would help people understand it. And that vision and the vision statement that you would create today is one that should last for at least 5 years before you go back and modify it. Now, we're going to talk about the difference between vision and mission, and then we'll talk about how that all leads to branding, and then we'll talk about how that leads to marketing and the difference between branding and marketing. So let's go back to vision. And if any of this is sounding good to you, then I'd like for you to remember that you can get a 30-minute one-on-one session with me on Tuesdays by going to masteryourbrand.com and signing up. And if you find that too difficult, then you can send me an email at a.t@masteryourbrand.com. I'll give that information out again for you. Okay, so let's get back to vision. So vision, again, is this huge thing, and vision statement is different than vision. Vision statement is the articulation or a group of words that express what that vision is that you see. Now, sometimes you come into a business that has already been owned by someone else, and you are being hired as the new president or CEO, and so you're stepping into the vision that has already been casted by someone else. That's okay. That's okay. The way that you get to that vision is through the mission, and so we'll talk about mission and how there's some flexibility there if you happen to be working for an organization that you're not the founder of. But for those of you who are the founders of your business, or you are sitting there and wondering about the gifts and talents that you have and how you can cast a vision statement out there for yourselves, then this is for you in terms of the vision statement. So think with me for a moment about the best possible thing that could happen in the world when it comes to what you do and how you see the world, and how if this were a bit different, things might be easier for the people around you. If this were a bit different, a bit better, things might flow more smoothly in society. If this were a bit to the left or a bit to the right, people might be more successful. People might be happier. You might be happier. The vision is what you see. And so the first thing to do is to tap into that thing that you see. And don't fear getting caught up in a whimsical fantasy land. stick with it and stay with that thought and follow it through. And begin trying to write down words that are associated with that vision that you see. And we'll talk a little bit about an actual vision statement shortly, but the exercise for right now is to actually focus on the thing that you see. Begin writing it down. Does it have colors? Does it have a sound? Does it have music? Are people smiling? Are people not smiling? Are there people? Are there animals? Is there an earth there? What is there? What is it that you see? Begin to write the words that describe what you see. Don't worry about the sentence structure. Don't worry about it sounding poetic at this point. Just begin writing it down. Get that thought out of your head and onto paper. And once you begin writing it down and begin recording what it is that you actually see, it'll become easier and easier for you to write those words down to the point where you'll probably have 3 or 4 pieces of paper. Don't worry, you'll be able to pull that statement together into the point where it's a succinct statement. But for the meantime, and in the meantime, just get comfortable writing that down. Now, there is a practice and there is some work around getting or excreting some of the waste from all of the words that may be included in the first vision statement that you write. And that's where I come in at, and that's where other vision and strategic communication experts come in when it comes to clarifying those words that are on paper so that it is something very easy to understand. You can create a vision statement in less than 20 words. Some people have vision statements that are longer than 20 words. Some people believe in vision statements that are less than 10 words. I don't focus specifically on a formula to that degree. More so, I focus on the articulation and clarity of the words that are there. If it requires a bit more words for people to understand it, then that's what you do. I believe that you can get those words down to very few, but in the meantime, and as the beginning of that process goes, don't worry about the number of words and word counting at this point. Just worry about getting those words down. Now, again, you can do this with me through a one-on-one session by going to masteryourbrand.com or sending me an email at a.t@masteryourbrand.com. Okay, so now let's move over to vision and mission and the comparison between the two. So now you understand that vision is all about this thing that you see in your head. Now, one of the things that people tend to do when they're thinking about their vision is they begin to try to put in how they're going to get there. And that's really not what a vision is. A vision is only about what you see. It has nothing to do with the mechanics and the operations and all the technicalities and the roadmap. That's what mission is all about. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But just remember, when you're writing down that vision, stay right in the space that has to do with what you see. And don't limit it by what you believe you can do, or by how much money you feel you have to get there, or by the tools or the people or the things that you have, the resources that are required. Don't worry about that when it comes to the vision. You just keep writing what you see. And if what you see is a company or an empire that's larger than Disney, then write that. Don't worry about, I'm not going to be able to do it, or it's just too big, or I don't know where to start. Don't worry about that. Just keep writing what you see. Write what you see as if money is not an issue. Write what you see as if people or skills or resources are not an issue. Because if you have the vision and if you can conceive it, I really believe that you can achieve it. It's just a matter of aligning yourself with the appropriate resources in order to get there. And that's what mission is all about. So again, for you, if you're writing that vision statement down, write what you see. Keep going. Let it be as big and grand. If it's not big enough, if it's not huge, if it doesn't frighten you, then it's not a vision statement, because that vision statement is a statement that's so far out there that it's inconceivable and it's unbelievable. If people see it and they read it, they're going to say, how are you going to do that? That doesn't make any sense. And you know that you have a real vision statement if it frightens people, if it shocks people, if people scratch their head and go, how are you going to get there? You can say, I'm glad you asked. Now we can talk about mission. Now, mission is where you get to get all into the nitty-gritty of how I'm going to get there, how we are going to get there. How is my company going to move from today to tomorrow? How is my company going to move from the current state to the future state? And that's what mission is all about. Mission is where you get to write down the technicalities. Now, this is not an action item plan. That's not mission. That goes a little bit further down the road into strategies and your tactics. And we're not going to talk about that today. But what we're going to talk about is the actual mission. And that's the roadmap that you're going to use so that you can get to the vision. Now, many people don't use roadmaps anymore, right? You use GPS. You know, I use a GPS. Many people use GPSs. So think about your GPS. When you put in your GPS the destination for wherever you're going, up comes directions, right? And it doesn't tell you how to navigate those directions. It'll say turn left, right? Or it'll say turn right, right? That's the most, but it doesn't tell you exactly how to turn left. It just says turn left. Tactics tell you how to turn. Tactics say things like turn your wheel 90 degrees, turn your wheel 45 degrees, press on the accelerator. Don't press it too hard. Press and go 20 miles per hour. Press and go 40 miles per hour. Those are tactics. Those are specifics. That's what tactics are all about, but that's not mission. Mission is turn left, turn right, build this, build that, do this, do that. That is what mission is. And so when you're thinking about your mission statement and when you're thinking about your mission, that's your game plan. That's what you're going to do today, what you're going to do tomorrow so you can get to your ultimate destination, which is your vision. So I'd like for you to begin thinking about and writing down all the things that you're doing today. Do me a favor right now and write down the top 5 things that you're engaged in today, the things that you're doing today. And then I want you to think about that vision statement that you began creating, even if it's just a vision in your head that you're starting to tap into now. And I want you to ask yourself this question: am I doing today what I need to move toward that vision? Meaning, is the address that I put into my GPS actually going to be reached by me based on the map that I'm using today, based on the directions that I'm receiving and the things that I'm doing in my business today? Or are you headed toward your vision? Now, some people would talk about detours and how it's okay to take detours, and we'll talk about detours. And you can also have a 30-minute session with me where you and I can talk about some of the detours that you're on and how we might be able to strategically navigate you away from those detours so that you can get back on the right route, so that you can get back on the route that's going to get you to your vision or your ultimate destination in a shorter period of time and in a least costly, in a less expensive way, and in a less emotionally taxing and resource taxing way. So again, for the mission is the thing that you're doing today in order to get to your ultimate destination. Now, when you think of your vision statement, I want you to think of that as something that's just for you. Something that's just for your executive leadership team, something that's just for your staff. Your vision really doesn't have to be published for the outside world to see. It's the direction that you're traveling. It's the direction that you're taking the team, and the team is helping you travel toward. And anybody who's working for your company, they have got to align with your vision. They've got to drink it like they drink Kool-Aid if they drink Kool-Aid. That's how important it is for your team to subscribe, support, believe, walk in your vision with you all day, every day. Very, very important. Okay, now when it comes to mission definitely has to be published. Your mission statement is one that you will put out there and that the world will want to see, especially if they're determining if they want to get in the car with you and go with you, right? So you're driving and you're moving toward a vision, right? Well, that mission statement is going to take you to a lot of different stops before you actually get to your vision statement, right? So think about this type of an analogy. Have you ever ridden on a city bus, right? You can get on a city bus and you can go for 3 or 4 stops. You don't have to go to the end of the line, right? You can go to a few stops over, 20 stops, or however long, but there is always opportunity to get off. And that mission statement is the same way for your company. There are some people who will come into your life with your company for a short period of time as your customers, and then there are some that are going to be there with you the whole way through. So don't worry about, am I going to be leading people in a direction that they don't want to go when it comes to my vision? The vision is for your internal use. And it's not that it's a secret from society, but it's not as important to them as the mission is. Mission is important to your consumer base. Vision is important to you. Mission is important to you as well, very much so. The reason mission is important to you is because you've got to know the direction that you're going in order for you to achieve that vision. Okay, so when you're writing down your mission statement, I want you to remember that it must speak from your heart to the heart of the people that you are serving, to your customers' heart, to your prospects' heart, to your board members' heart, your constituencies, all of your constituencies that are out there, your future constituencies as well. Okay, so that mission statement is a heartfelt message that you write down, and you write that along with those who are on your executive management team, and the people who also work with you get a chance to look at that vision statement and to understand it and to chime in to make sure that they understand it, and then they all behold it. You all behold it, and you all move in unison in that mission statement toward that vision, toward on that bus the final destination. Okay, now with that mission statement, just like the vision statement, the mission statement doesn't have to have so many words. Okay, so don't worry so much about the word count. Don't worry so much about whether or not you're rambling on and on. You will have time to excrete some of the wasteful words that are in your mission statement. But the point again is to make sure that the right words are there. And sometimes we have to have so many words before we can actually determine which ones are the right words. So don't be afraid to just write that mission. Write it down, even just like the vision statement where I said you can have 3 or 4 pages of text. When you're writing that mission statement, you could find yourself having 3 or 4 pages of text in the beginning, but you will get it down. Okay, now just like I said with the vision statement, some people like to focus on word count, so you can have more than 20 words or less than 10 words. You can decide your formula, but I want you to first focus on making sure that the right words are there and that it's accurate according to what's in your heart. Now, remember that vision is more self-serving, and it does something great and unique for the world better than you can do alone. Mission is society serving. Society must see themselves in your mission. They must see themselves in it, and they must feel that it is something great, heartfelt, good for the world, good for the greater world, good for the greater society. That's what mission is all about. And so when you begin writing your mission statement, I want you to be thinking about, at your deepest core, what can you do today to move you to your vision? And remember that with your mission, it must be responsible, socially responsible, environmentally responsible, financially responsible. All of those things are important when it comes to your mission statement, because people want to make sure that as an organization, you are taking all of the tools and resources that you have and putting it into the mission of that organization. And I'm not talking about nonprofit organizations. I'm talking about for-profit organizations as well. I'm talking about any company, whether or not you own a 500 employee company, a 10,000 employee company, to you being a solopreneur and you're the only person working. You want to make sure that people can understand your mission, they can relate to your mission, they can appreciate your mission, and then they're asking what can they do to sign up to be a part of your mission. And that mission, when I say what can I do to sign up, it's what can I do to buy one of your products, or how can I get involved in your services, or do you have opportunities for employment, or do you have opportunities for me to participate in some of your events, or whatever programming you have, whatever services you have, whatever products you have. They all should be a part of that mission, and they all need to help society feel as if you're doing something great for society, better than anybody else in your competitive base is doing, because that's also a huge part of being able to create a compelling mission statement. Now, again, vision is seeing, and it's for you and your internal crew. Mission is doing, and it is for the world to see, behold, to love, and to cherish, and to jump in and see how they can help. Now, again, I can work with you on creating your vision and mission statement. All you need to do is go to masteryourbrand.com, or you can send me an email at a.t@masteryourbrand.com. I'd also like to offer you a free copy of my ebook, which is called Seen and Sustained: Best Practices in Communication for Small and Diverse Businesses. I wrote that book with 3 other women entrepreneurs, and they are doing amazing things in their own life and in their own businesses, and we all got together to write this book to help you in small business understand how you can move from your vision to your mission in an easier way, and using the best words to describe that experience so that you create greater success for yourself in a more cost-effective and faster way. The name of that book again is Seen and Sustained. I'd like to offer you a free e-copy of that book. If you're interested in that, send me an email to a.t@masteryourbrand.com. Sometimes when people are going through the book, they actually need help. I'm able to help you go through that book as well. You can sign up for a 30-minute session for that. Again, at a.t@masteryourbrand.com. Now, let me just spend a few minutes telling you the difference between branding and marketing. All the things that we just talked about regarding your vision and your mission help to create your brand. And your brand is the creation of experiences around a vision and a mission. So just like you see that vision that's way out there and that mission that's way out there, and I talked to you earlier about tactics which give you specific directions, and it gives you specificity regarding how you're going to actually achieve the mission. All of those things are rolled right up into what we call a brand. And that brand on the first level is a visual image or a visual representation of what your vision and mission is and where you're going. Most people refer to a brand as a logo. Most people refer to a brand as stationery packaging or a website or business cards. It's not completely untrue, but a brand is not that. Those are the visual representations of the brand, but the brand in itself is the experience that you are creating. So branding is a set of experiences that represent the vision and mission of a company. Okay, so when you think about brands, let's talk about Starbucks for a minute. When you go into Starbucks, what do you see and what do you smell and who do you see and how are things arranged? Do all the Starbucks look similar? They don't all look the very same, but they all look similar. And when you step inside a Starbucks, you know you're in a Starbucks. Let's talk about Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts has a completely different brand, don't they? They sell coffee too, and not long ago they've added to their visual representation of their brand, which is their logo, a big cup of coffee, because they want people to understand that they're all about coffee, right? Just like Starbucks is all about coffee, but Starbucks is all about helping people create experiences and enjoy their lives, and they're involved in doing that in an environmentally friendly and sustainable way. Dunkin' Donuts is all about family and friendliness and having fun, right? And all about creating memories around coffee and breakfast sandwiches and people being on the run, but enjoying a real quality experience when it comes to the food that they serve. Completely different brand, completely different vision, completely different vision and mission. And so I want you to think about those two things when you're thinking about, how does my brand differ from my competitor's brand? Are we different or are we the same? Some people say, well, we do the exact same things, but you're not the exact same thing. Your brand is your brand, their brand is their brand, your vision is your vision, and your mission is yours, and so is theirs. So I'd like you to focus on that. Focus on those two examples that I gave you when you're thinking about branding and you're thinking about your own brand, because that's all about experience. Now, marketing, on the other hand, is completely different than branding. Marketing supports branding. Marketing is a complement of branding. They are all in the same family, but they're not the same. Now, when it comes to branding, branding is not the top of the ladder as well. The top of the ladder is communication. So think about communication as this umbrella. And under communication is branding, marketing, business development, sales, and so many other functions that help us move from idea to sale, from idea to consumer usage, from idea to consumer return for new purchases. All of those things complement the communication process, and so they're all a part of the communication process. Marketing is all about helping people move in a direction that you want them to by giving them a specific call to action and directions for how to respond. That's what marketing is all about. And there are many, many different things that we can do in marketing to increase our success with getting people to do what we need them to do when it comes to our business. One popular trend in marketing is called the 4 Ps, right? Product, place, promotion, and price. And those are the things that we focus on in marketing when we are trying to market or create visibility for a brand. And so those are things that you can expect to learn more from me about in the future. If you're interested in finding out more about how I see marketing and branding and the difference between the two and how I teach those things both on the undergraduate and undergraduate level, you can reach out to me at a.t@masteryourbrand.com. You can find me online at masteryourbrand.com. Don't forget about that Tuesday programming that I mentioned earlier, all the shows that I've got going on. You can find me on amazon.com if you're interested in purchasing the hard copy book for Seen and Sustained. Just put that in the search. If you're interested in taking advantage of that free ebook, send me an email at a.t@masteryourbrand.com, and I'd be happy to spend even more time with you in a one-on-one session helping you get to the bottom of things so that you can master your own brand. I thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you and interacting with you. I want to see your vision out there. I want to see you moving toward it, and I want to see you have a group of people that are on the sidelines cheering you along the way because they believe in your mission and they're willing to support you as you move toward achieving and reaching your own vision. Take care. I'm Akia Garnett.